They work on our show
They're
now.
sound guys. They're great.
On the TBS show.
Yep.
It's Conan's eye vein.
Oh,
What's
boy.
this?
Oh, here's want me to come to the reunion either. We got all this great stuff. And there's Michelle.
Oh.
Michelle Plashansky.
She worked on the tour.
Yep.
Oh, here's this. This is a nice little.
I like this.
That's Jerry Vivino, the flautist. Mike Merritt on bass.
This is like a campfire.
Yeah.
It's like people sitting around a campfire singing these songs. I love this.
This is exactly how
You know what?
people used to kill time during Harvard reunions in the old days.
I see that blackboard, that green board in the back of La Bamba. People do a freeze frame. There's someone's playing Hangman, and as you fill in the letters, it says, "I have had cock, La Bamba." But you really have to freeze the frame and look at that blackboard behind him.
I have had cock.
That's a Gibson J200.
Oh, good. I was wondering.
Jeez.
Now, is this cheating having a whole band with you?
Yeah, it is.
But wait, is that a different guitar than the one that you were playing?
No, that's a J200.
Oh, all right.
That is a J200.
Different one. Yeah, it is. Thanks, Andy, for noticing.
But it's all acoustic here, right? You couldn't, it was all...
I broke a... This is me performing in front of my 1985 classmates at Harvard, which...
And let me tell you...
How big was the crowd?
There were lorgnettes dropping out of eyes all over that place.
Imagine 500 New Yorker logos watching you. Ramel!
Oh, there's
I
Ramel.
love Ramel.
Ramel.
Oh, this was great. This was fun. This...
In Nashville.
Yes,
Awesome.
Nashville. This is Third Man Records. Jack, and there's Jack White, and we just had a blast.
This is
I love
Jack
how he
White's,
just
Jack White's
popped up.
studio.
Jack White's
Which
studio
is
in Nashville.
really small.
And it was 117 degrees in that
Yes,
fucker.
I've never sweat this much in my life.
You recorded this album. The whole concert was 40 minutes?
Yes, we recorded this album live. God, this
was great. This was very
was
intense.
Very intense, and maybe one of the coolest things I've ever gotten to do.
And all the songs, they were just keyed up a little bit more.
Yes. Everything had a punk
compression.
rock energy to it.
Yes.
And you and Jack did this on your first TBS show.
Yeah.
After this, right?
Yes.
And they were recording a vinyl record, and they had to stop to flip the vinyl over to do the other side.
This was, this is a dream. Jack is,
And look, the girls didn't wear their wigs for this.
no.
Yes.
It's like the Cavern Club. Those old shows.
No, this is
And
when
people were lined up
yes.
in the Nashville heat.
There was
Yeah,
3,000 or
like-
4,000 people to get into this little
to
concert.
fit into like a 150-person place.
I think that's it. I'm going to the hospital.
when I walked off stage, I took off my shirt and I squeezed it like in a cartoon, and all this water came out. Just
That
like
wasn't water. That was sweat.
Yeah. Well,
You said I'm going to the hospital.
That
and
was
I
your
really
vital
did think
juices.
you were
I
gonna
really
go
did
to
think
the
I needed to go to the
hospital.
I
I
did-
really
and I was
thought
losing
that
it
was-
here a little bit. I was so dehydrated and
Yeah.
so spent. And he keeps saying no
One thing, no
photos, and
photo.
everyone's
One
taking
thing, no
photos.
photo. One
Go
thing, no
fuck
photo.
yourself. Go fuck
Yeah.
yourself.
One body part, no photo. One body part, no photo.
An alternate title could have been Conan O'Brien Can't Say No.
Yeah.
Or Conan O'Brien will sign anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Purell!
Purell will
The
save
great
you.
unwashed.
Ah, Can we just set the scene that it is 130 degrees?
Was that
at
girl
Bon-
topless?
Yes.
Yeah. They were all naked and on acid.
But let's
I
talk
did
about
not I didn't walk out in the crowd that much.
Can we
because-
talk about how hot and humid it was? I've
was
never been this
awful.
hot and,
And
humid
muddy.
in my life.
And
And it was so muddy, they issued us these boots. I refused to wear them. I just couldn't do it.
I liked wearing them.
I liked them too. There was a mushroom in the middle of Bonnaroo that was spouting out water that recycled the water, and then at the end of the weekend it was brown and clunky.
For Christ's sake. And I can't wear a white hat if you're wearing a white hat.
Oh, good, it's miserable again.
Oh, someone gave me this black hat. One of the promoters, when we were in somewhere, gave me that
In
black
Dallas?
hat, and I just started wearing it.
I think when you were just walking up there, you were wearing it backwards.
Probably. Andy, I'm from Brookline, Mass.
All right.
I don't know how to wear a cowboy hat. Yeah, people lined up. This was,
At like 5 a.m.
and also there was, and I love it. You're wearing the same hat that the guy who failed to protect Oswald was wearing.
Got to cheat.
That was
And
sort
this
of a
was-
running
This,
bit.
this was
This
like a
hint.
circus tent.
The hat.
This hut or this tent had no air conditioning, none.
Right.
It broke.
On the
It
first
broke.
show,
It was
broke.
supposed to, but it
It
broke.
was supposed to, but it broke, and I thought we were gonna die during this show.
Yeah.
15 minutes ago, they told me the air conditioning went out in this tent.
Yeah, I took my shirt off when I was shooting this. It was the only time I ever shot anything topless.
There's Rodman.
Yeah, that's me.
Native American Sweat Lodge. This is great. In 6 months, I've gone from hosting The Tonight Show to performing at a refugee camp.
Now, I think it was Ray fainted.
Ray fainted.
Right,
during this?
Yeah,
wasn't it
she
Ray?
did after
Yeah.
one
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
she
shows.
did,
She
yeah.
fainted.
Ray fainted from
Yeah.
heat and
Oh,
dehydration.
this woman and I are now
Yeah.
married. By
I
the
think
way,
we all ignored her.
this
Oh,
we
she
got married.
loved. She had Conan fever.
Well, who doesn't?
She wanted to ride the Conan train.
That's all right.
first class.
First class, exactly. She's not gonna get in the caboose.
Yeah.
She and I.
Look at her.
No, we've married since in a civil
I
ceremony.
don't know
Look
about
at those
that.
tats.
Fashion
Or is that,
Island.
that's just mud.
No,
on
that's
your
tats.
shoulder. Okay.
Or bad circulation.
Yeah.
Oh, she's trying to get her boner on
It's
you.
dead tissue.
Oh my God! Why am I jumping around in this
Yeah.
condition?
Yeah, it was after this that Ray. one
Because
of the
you're desperate to be
coquettes,
liked.
Yes.
Fainted.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah.
Desperate to be liked.
There you
There
are.
was, there was a
Oh,
cooling.
that's you?
Oh, there was one air conditioning unit.
There was one air conditioning unit, and I'm hanging out underneath it.
You look like a baby under there, all naked.
Jerry
a
Vivino
beard.
told me you were great today.
That's me. Whenever I hear someone say that was
And I was like, why today? And he said, because the first show was good, but the second show was better.
What a jerk.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah, my apologies to Margaret Cho. I was just really tired. Sorry, Margaret.
The interesting thing about back at Bonnaroo is everyone seemed to have a camera crew following
Yeah.
them.
Yes.
She had her own camera crew. She was doing
Well, she was
something.
doing, yeah.
There's Gus doing his, why can't this all happen faster?
Tenacious D, I think those guys had a camera crew with them.
Oh, these people brought their baby and wanted me to
Sign it.
Those
like
babies,
be with their baby, and we had to go into this back room. I never.
they were born during the show.
Yeah. Oh, here's where we're finding out that they want me to do more time at Bonnaroo.
On the main stage.
On the
to
main
introduce
stage.
the big acts at
And the one thing
night.
you don't want to do as a comedian is go out in front of whatever it was. How many people?
Gazillion.
70,000.
70,000 or something,
100,000.
and stretch. And I'm really tired, and Jim Pitt's saying they're kind of expecting you to do more, and I'm losing my shit here.
In gold toe socks.
Yeah, it's very not. It takes a little bit of the coolness out of it.
Yeah. Conan O'Brien for gold toe socks.
Fine, and then Jeff's on a plane, and later he can say, I didn't know. I didn't.
You spent a lot of time lying down in this
I
movie.
still do.
Do you?
Still, yeah.
Lying down is great,
Well,
Rod.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know
were
what you have
saying that
against
today.
I know.
Half the first day is spent like,
Rodman
lying down on the
sleeps sitting
couch.
up.
I'm a tall gentleman, and I need my rest.
Lanky.
Because you're tall, you need your rest.
Shut up.
Yeah, it's good. It's widescreen.
Gravity
so
works
it's
harder
good that
on
you work
him.
that way, you know? It's a widescreen frame, so it's good that you're...
Look at me. Why am I twitching? Is it really this bad all the time?
Yes.
Yeah.
All
It's-
the
What do I
time.
do?
We were
What do I
rehearsing
do?
yesterday,
All the time.
and I was kneeling down
We
by the
can't
desk,
fix
and the
you.
desk was like banging
What do I
against
do?
me.
Is
We
there
can't-
medic-
It was your
there's
knee
nothing to
was
fix
going.
What do I do?
Oh, just keep being you, and then you die.
Your brain just keeps going, and I don't know how to make your brain stop sometimes.
Well, if anyone can, it's you.
Ah!
Wait,
Zing.
was that a dig at me? That
no.
was a zing.
No.
He
Well-
said that you make his brain stop.
Oh, I hope I do.
You'd make everyone's brain stop.
Because I'm so amazing. Everyone's
Yes.
like brain stops, and they're like, "What?"
Yes.
And then we'll get through that. Then it's on to the 55 other things I have to introduce. It's someone at WNBA.
Oh, Conan,
Oh,
stop your bitching.
man.
Yeah.
You're lucky to be
You
alive.
loved every second of it.
I think at this
too.
point I was out trying to find weed.
Yeah, where were you?
That's when we.
Oh,
I
you
think
had it.
Bonnaroo
You would
was when
show
we
up
all-
at night.
We all
Oh,
found
you had the
weed
best
that
gig
day.
ever.
Oh, I had the best gig
No,
ever.
Oh my
no, we
God, you.
didn't.
I would come to the show late. I still have the best gig ever.
Hey, Sweeney,
I
those
don't
with the
deserve
shorts, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, look, when you
Beautiful-
got
I
it,
have
flaunt
very
it.
beautiful legs.
Yes,
I love
you
your
do.
Full meaty calves.
You do. You have a nice leg.
Thank you.
Look at me. Oh, let's move a body part some more, Conan.
Okay, I used to.
And there's
There's
Andy
me.
still
I might be
failing.
high.
Oh, there's
There's
Andy.
Andy
That's
still
right.
failing to protect Oswald. He's from Ruby.
The whole thing about Best Truman.
I'll find you later. I've got this pass.
Best Truman? Just listen. Let's explain. All right, this is embarrassing, but someone's going to have to help me write these names on my hand. I'll get out
I didn't have the confidence that I could remember the name Nas when I went out in front of. I thought if I get out in
Or
front
is
of
it
70,000
Nas?
people, I just might lose my mind.
Okay, that's nice. Quite accurate. Are you ready to reggae?
There's something about seeing that many people in front of you that's. But what's weird is once you get above 10,000, it doesn't matter anymore. Do you know what I mean? It might as well be 100,000. Doesn't.
That was so
Yeah,
cool.
you were complaining about doing it, but then when you got out there and actually did it,
It was fun.
was that fun?
Yeah, it was really fun.
That was like a lot of things you did. You
Yes,
weren't
that's
happy
my
about
life.
It
I
until
complained
you did It
beforehand.
and you loved it.
Look at that. I complained beforehand and then I
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Oh,
And
why do you
also,
raise
like,
the roof?
you complaining about having to do things in front of lots and lots of people is like,
Oh man.
you know, is like the fattest kid in school. Like, how much cake do I have to eat?
Sonia, you bite your nails a lot.
I do.
She
What's
does.
wrong?
Because I was constantly nervous throughout this entire
Why?
thing.
Yeah.
Because I thought you're gonna lose your mind.
Oh, Sony, you did not. You still bite your nails, and I'm fine.
See, that scene showed how much she cares for you, really, Sona, you know?
Oh, and there's Tenacious D.
Yes.
There's Kyle and Jack.
These guys are great, of course.
And they had their own camera crew, I think.
Who's urinating now? Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Tenacious D!
This was all improvised.
You had 40,000 people in the halls.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm gonna talk over this analogy. That was awful and unfortunate. Okay.
Oh.
Whenever
I'm
I see the
talking
bus,
over
all I
it.
think
there.
of is Sona trying to download the Human Centipede. and
Yeah,
watch it.
Sona, how much
The
of the tour was
Centipede-
you trying to download the Human
Well,
Centipede?
not
Well, you did
trying.
it
We
successfully.
streamed the Human
Yeah.
Centipede. It buffered every 5 seconds, and it took us 4 hours to watch an hour and a half long movie. But it was worth. It was worth it.
You like the Human Centipede? You like that movie?
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic film. I thought it was a great metaphor for life.
It still
I'm-
holds up.
I'm
At the
not
movies
gonna
with
lie.
Sona.
I'm probably saying this because I'm a little drunk right now, but I was pretty much high during this entire.
It's okay.
It was right after Bonnaroo.
You had to.
Look, and you knew I was, and
What
so
did I
that's why
do?
you're hamming it
man.
up now.
You're making fun of
could've
that poor
tossed-
flight
I
attendant.
know.
doing her
Yeah.
job.
I
Blake.
know. I'm
You're
going to.
you're,
You're
channeling
hamming
Charlie
it
Callis.
up.
That's your
I'm
Charlie
going to
Callis
hell.
moment.
She was
She
right.
was doing her
She was so
job.
sweet, too.
Right.
She was
I
like the
just can't
nicest.
handle it.
It's Charlie Callis.
It was
Oh
Charlie
my
Callis.
God! It's
what you're
because you
doing.
introduced Nas.
Right, and you kept talking about
I
Nas and
just
Damian
kept talking.
Marley and what
And the
friends
thing
we
is,
were.
I don't think the documentary.
That's a Charlie Callis moment. That
Look
The
at your
documentary
hair.
doesn't capture that I did this bit for 7 hours straight.
For 7 hours.
Oh, hello, Nas.
Hello, is
Yeah.
Nas there?
Yeah. Oh, Nas.
Oh, it's beautiful. Nice shot, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take that, Neil Armstrong.
I did shoot that moonshot. Vanessa shot a lot of this stuff. I'm hiding in the back, I think.
Okay, cool.
I just can't wait to get on the road again.
And where do we go from there? Washington or Atlanta?
Atlanta. Yeah.
Oh, this is tour, and this is the home stretch.
From
This is the
exactly.
end.
Yeah. This is from Bonnaroo to Atlanta.
Can't wait to get my own show again.
Sonia, you have a beautiful singing voice.
Come on, I'm the best coquette you have.
Sonia, do
Just
you
admit
remember
it.
this? Do you
Barring
remember
the
this?
other coquettes,
do.
you're the best one.
Come on.
No, they're better than
They
you.
are a lot better
They're
than
professional.
me.
I'd like to talk to Megan Fox again. Megan Fox again.
You
Oh
look
my
like
God,
you're having
we're
a good
so
time.
delirious. We had some good times.
We did have a lot of good times.
Come on.
Oh,
Cover your
Andy.
mouth. Cover your mouth.
How could you be bored around me?
Disneyland.
I love Disneyland.
Disneyland's
Wait,
awesome.
where are we?
We're stuck in traffic trying to get to the hotel in
Where?
Atlanta.
Oh.
This is the same day.
Atlanta was
It's still
disgusting
and this see
hot.
the
See,
bit,
Sweeney, I made you laugh.
I laugh all the time.
Oh, come on.
Look, I'm smiling.
Oh my God.
I'm so glad I got this.
Rippity
Because
rap.
some of the funniest stuff was in the van
Yes.
that I witnessed.
I do my best work in a van.
and a lot of it was just too dark and I couldn't.
Oh, this was
capture.
great. We found a device,
There was some like
A
some
weird
meat hook on
meat
a
hook,
track.
and we realized that I could, and I of course used it to run into Matt O'Brien and punch him.
Hit of excitement and adrenaline and everything that I love about show business, but
Were you ever scared
No.
in the audience? Never.
No, I like people. I'm scared when I visit my family. I'm not scared in front of 80,000
Because
people.
you never know who's an assassin in that group.
Exactly.
pretty soon.
Oh, this song reminds me of the tour.
Well, that's because you're
This
watching
movie
footage of the
reminds me of
tour.
the tour.
It does.
You know, the word Atlanta reminds me of Atlanta.
All right,
Honestly,
Andy.
Sona.
Okay.
Again, at the risk of being sincere, playing that song with that band and the Coquettes is an absolute thrill, which I don't get to do anymore.
It's great, and it was a great. You played it at the end of the show, and I
And towards the
feel-
end of the tour.
I
Yeah.
feel so fortunate that we were
It worked its
able
way
to
into
license
the,
it for the movie because
Yeah.
it's just
The show.
It's
Fantastic
obviously
way
a beautiful song,
to
but
end the movie, yeah.
there's the bat that we used.
Bad out of hell.
We had that made
We had that made.
because Meatloaf wouldn't give us the original.
Great period of time.
It's interesting to see you in these shots at the end of the tour, juxtaposed to the shots of you at the beginning of the tour, where you're all neatly pressed, and here you look like Jerry Lewis at the end of the telethon at like hour
Yeah.
23 when the shirt's on.
Oh,
Aww. The last show.
that's sweet.
The best summer camp I've ever been to. This is a special thing. It's chocolate cake. You don't want to make it every meal, you know? Hey, you eat chocolate cake every meal.
Well, God bless Andy.
Oh,
This is nice.
See,
I'm a lucky person.
Oh, I'm crying.
there's
Emotion.
So sad about it, and now I'm
Yeah.
probably stuff.
Because didn't you have to go
start
back
crying
home
again.
to your parents where you lived with them at the time?
I did live with them at the time, and I was very happy to live with them.
Yeah, that's what you'd say now. Wait till we stop recording.
With right thinking of concepts. I
Oh
can't
my God, I weigh nothing at the end.
you're just a slip of a thing.
That's a good diet.
I'm really sorry I got you.
Oh, this
that
I
fish
like
with
this.
butter.
Rodman, you caught this where I hand the
Yeah.
bag to Gus. Gus hands it to Jeff. There was something kind of sweet about that moment.
yes, you're
'Cause we're all
serving,
working to make
sharing
your
the
life
load.
Right. Because
easier.
Jeff lost that bag.
He just dropped it
Yeah.
outside the door.
Huh? What am I doing
Huh?
with this? And when the bus backed up, 6 people died.
Yes. We don't talk about that in the
Right.
documentary.
I need to go home and like drive my kids to school. Do you know what I mean?
Which I have not done.
Yeah, and it was summertime too, so it would have been weird.
I haven't seen my children
Theoretically,
since the tour.
drop.
I need to go home and tell someone to drive my kids to school.
I'm now married to a porn star.
There's still time to add that.
Was that the first night
Yeah.
or the second
Cool.
night? What night is that, Rodman?
This
that's
this was
neat.
the first week. I don't remember specifically what
It
night
might
it
have been a
was.
test show.
No, it wasn't a test show.
Oh, this is sweet.
know.
What is this? Monkey business.
Monkey business.
Oh,
Yeah, Rodman.
Rodman.
Boo, Gavin, boo.
Again, thank you, Chuck Berry.
This is a Chuck Berry song that I like to play
Yay,
more.
Rachel. Couldn't
Yay,
have known.
Rachel.
Rachel.
Hey, Kathy.
And Kat.
But anyway, we play this about 10 times faster than Chuck Berry played it.
And Chuck Berry let us use this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I idolize Chuck Berry.
Speaking of Chuck Berry, I have to go to the bathroom.
Ooh.
I know, me too. Can we take a break?
No, we're almost done.
I really have to go
You're
to the
gonna-
little girls' room.
You're gonna watch my guitar solo.
Oh, that's right. This is what we couldn't
Is
talk
there
over.
a the end, or is it kind of ending?
Yeah,
Rob,
because
help
we're
me
doing
out.
it part 2.
Oh, no.
We're going to do DVD extras.
So Jimmy goes
commentary.
first, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Look
that's
at-
right.
List the band. The
Band.
band gets the.
Yay.
and the- and the
they should have added
coquettes.
my name at the end of that, too. That was a coquette.
Oh, Kanar.
Kanara really made it.
Yep.
She's another
Thank you,
Armenian.
Kanara.
What up?
Say, you have to say that in Armenian. Give Kanar a little shout out in Armenian here on the
Kanar!
commentary.
Where's my solo?
Oh, God.
Oh, wait. Oh, this is right.
Love it. It's all right.
Let's a little shout out to the White
You're a
Stripes
fake.
here.
You can't speak Armenian.
I can totally speak Armenian.
Let's hear some Armenian. Why don't you give your
She was
review?
trying.
Give your review for this movie.
Oh, yeah, do
in
it.
Armenian. Go.
Okay, as filime Martuma Masine.
What are you talking about, goats?
Haskell
Եվ
Blender,
ալ
editorial
քեզ
interruption.
բաներ գնե եւ ալ ամեն մարդը որ իրեն համար գաշխատի քիչ մը գխենթացնե.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I
did you-
said
Someone
this
translate
movie is
that.
about a crazy guy who does crazy things and drives everyone around him who works for him crazy. I said crazy like 4 times.
Well, there's a very limited Armenian
Right.
vocabulary.
You're welcome, everyone.
I'm so glad I went to the bathroom before we started.
You
this
stop
commentary.
saying that. Oh, I should not have had that tequila.
Now, there's a solo in here somewhere, isn't there?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's any good. Oh, Amy
Thank you,
Littman.
Amy Littman, my wife.
Amy!
Here we go. I think it's coming.
Let me talk about my influences.
Shut up. Quiet. I insist you listen to the solo. I'm actually proud of the solo.
Now, when D.A. Pennebaker made Don't
quiet.
Look Back,
You'll be quiet.
Should I speak more Armenian?
Rodman, great job.
Conan,
Yeah,
thank
Rodman.
you.
Great
Thank
job,
you, Conan.
Rodman.
No, seriously.
Yeah, Rodman, seriously, great
Conan,
job.
I just got to give a shout out
Rodman
to
made
Conan
this happen.
O'Brien for giving me this opportunity to make this
Andy,
movie.
Sween, Sona, I love you guys.
Love you too.
I love you too, Rodman.
This is going to be my headset dropping on the floor.
I'm taking my pants off. Goodbye.
Oh fuck, is that actually it?
He went to some people. This was a TikTok convention. Yeah. As my class.
You know, I thought I knew what real terror was when earlier this year, McDonald's Japan actually ran out of French fries, forced into rationing those pitifully small portion sizes, truly the unthinkable. And yet, equally as horrifying are some of the stories I've heard over the years from people teaching English in Japan. Now, for many people, teaching English is something of a gateway, a golden ticket into an impenetrable culture. For me, I actually came here as a teacher. My first 3 years, I was here on the JET programme. And for the most part, it's a time of my life that I look back on very fondly, even if the students seem to have a fascination with my size and scale, going so far as to call me VIP de Big. VIP de Big. To this day, I don't really know what that means. Is it an insult? Is it a term of endearment? Probably the first one. But for me, 3 years was the perfect number. If I'd carried on, I would have lost my sanity. But what happens if you do carry on? What happens if you do it for 10 long years? You might recall my best American friend Pete. from our epic road trip to Japan's most northern point in Hokkaido last year. This week, after 10 long years, Pete has finally quit his career as an English teacher with 5 jobs, each one worse than the last. I don't think I know anyone who's had as ridiculous a career in Japan as Pete has had. And that is why I want to share it today with you guys in this video. Whether you want to teach English in Japan or not, I think it's a fantastic critique on life in Japan. It might put you off teaching, unfortunately, but for the most part, I think it's fairly entertaining. And honestly, if you find the absence of McDonald's French fries terrifying, wait until you hear some of the stories in this video. So here he is, guys. Welcome to the ramen shop, the greatest teacher of English the world has ever seen, Pete Premier 2.
I'm the greatest?
I was being mildly sarcastic.
I fear for the future of our children's. That's,
You're a good teacher though, right?
I'm great. I'm all right. I try hard.
If I had children, I would want you to not come near them.
Exactly. I think that's, yeah, thanks, buddy.
But you've had a hell of a career. I know you haven't told me everything about your career, but you've told me snippets. And
yeah.
From what I can gather, Peter's had like the most ridiculous teaching career I've ever heard from anyone. And in this video, we're going to sort of talk through that. Of the 5 jobs you've had?
5 jobs, 10 years.
And 3 of those jobs were pretty horrendous, from what I understand.
Absolute shit. Some of the worst jobs anybody could ever ask for.
All right. So you came to Japan in 2011, right?
That's right. Right after the Tohoku earthquake. That was in March, right? Yeah, so my application was kind of lost in the earthquake. And so we had to wait until we got news. I arrived in April, 2 weeks after. And
just 2 weeks after the devastating. So before that though, why did you decide to come to Japan? The question everybody
wants to know, why did you come to Japan? Well, I majored in acting in the United States, and you can imagine like Al Pacino and Robin Williams. If you combined both of those, you get like Daniel Day-Lewis. I was neither of those. I was the bottom. But I loved acting. It just didn't pay the bills. And I had been to Japan twice to visit a host family because we hosted a Japanese student when I was in college. And they lived in Yokohama. I came here, visited them. It was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Visited 2 more times, and I decided, all right, after I graduate college at 26, I'm a great teacher though. I can tell them what not to do.
All right.
I decided I want to go and give this a 3-year trial run. That was my minimum. So the first contract that I got was 3 months. So
a 3 month
3-month contract. It's very hard. Back in 2011, we think of how many opportunities we have now to get jobs. Back then, you had to sign up for a newsletter called like Ohio Sensei, and they would send you an email of the posted job that are available, and very few of those were available to people who were not already in Japan.
Right.
So the one I applied for was a placement company on a 3-month contract to the beautiful beaches of Joetsu.
Oh no, Joetsu.
Joetsu.
Joetsu's in Niigata.
That's in Niigata.
And the only thing it's famous for, and I went through it on Journey Across Japan, is the biggest nuclear reactor in Japan.
What? Really?
Kashiwazaki reactor. I went with Joey. Yeah. But like that, I really don't like that part of Japan. It's got some of the highest snowfall on the planet.
It actually has the record snowfall of Japan happened in Niigata, in Joetsu actually.
Bloody hell.
They didn't really tell you that when you arrived, so I was expecting a kind of, Malibu or some sort of like Okinawan beautiful sea of Japan. It was not.
No.
So it was very different. I took this job in Joetsu. The earthquake got lost in it. I couldn't confirm whether I had it or not, but ultimately I did make my way here. And I came here with all of my earthly possessions, which was my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pillow, some blankets, and a good pillow is very important. And that was it. I threw away everything else.
How much money did you come with?
Well, so I brought $2,500.
I think I came with about $3,000.
That's what you're supposed to do. It's called planning. So learn from this. So
it must have been a pretty hardcore time to come to Japan. I came in 2012, 1 year after the earthquake. You're coming straight off the tail end 1 month after, and you're literally landing in a nuclear disaster zone by all accounts.
Yeah, there was some concern from my family and friends, but I think that I'm pretty much a disaster zone in general. So they were like, just go and chase your dreams. And I felt like this was very naive. I felt like maybe if I moved to Japan, I can be part of like a rebuilding process. Turns out I contributed almost nothing except
contributed to the destruction.
It was basically I paid my taxes, which is the best I could do. So I got there and we had a 2-day training to kind of get acclimated. It would be an overstatement to say that they were underprepared. It was a disaster. Their building was completely disheveled. There were still papers all over the floor from the earthquake, and they had not a lot of time to recover and get all these contracts sorted. I did not come on a work visa. They assured me that this was in the process of being made, and I was on my tourist visa.
Oh my God.
But we had the 2-day training, and apparently there was only really one thing they wanted us to learn, and that was, and this is a very obvious thing to any normal, intelligent person, don't mess with the kids or be attracted to them.
Lesson 101. The fact they had to teach that's pretty alarming.
It seems like, rumor is, that the previous people who did not finish the year, because we had that 3-month contract, we were replacing them, was because of some inappropriate behavior, or it could have been with another teacher or something, I don't know. But basically it was be professional. They tasked me with a map and a washing machine. We threw it in the back seat of the this car they gave me, and they said, all right, you're driving west for about 8 hours. So we were supposed to meet at a McDonald's, but I was 4 or 5 hours late because I was lost in the mountains of Japan. And so they actually were meeting at an apartment right beneath mine. I did find it eventually. And it looked like it was a scene from some sort of Guy Ritchie film. There's like one swinging light bulb. And they have this big map of Joetsu, the town we're teaching in. And there's like 8 other teachers in there, because there's 9 of us total. And they were showing us on the map, here are your schools. And it wasn't just one school. There was, one guy had like 5 schools, another guy had 3. And we were trying to figure out where each one was. And I couldn't find my color-coded, I was like the pink dot, and there was no pink dots.
No.
So I was like, well, am I even in the right city? Who are you guys?
You went to the wrong place.
Who are you? What's going on? And we were looking all over this map, and I was like, it's not here. And so we kind of unfurled the map.
Oh no.
Off the table and lifted it up. And sure enough, over there was my 7 schools. 7.
In the middle of nowhere.
40 minutes up in the mountains.
Barely on the map.
5 elementary schools and 2 junior highs. And those were actually very unique because those were very rural, very. One of the schools had 31 students total.
Jesus Christ.
One first grader.
To call that a school is to be liberal.
Well, the 31 student school, it was endearing. When you got there, there was like a chicken coop, and I could name a chicken.
Is that like, welcome Peter, here's a chicken.
Yeah, I named him Gregory Peck, and they couldn't pronounce that very well. Greg was fine, Gregu. But I remember the first time I went there, they had like an auditorium. When these kids were all waiting, and they sang the school song and the national anthem.
Beautiful.
There was this one kind of portly kid, he was like a 4th grader.
Right.
And he was like holding this rope, and he was like watching me from the minute I came in, and I thought he was maybe they're gonna give me I don't know, I was hoping for that. And he was holding the rope and
I'm the American man.
But he was like checking the principal, then checking me, and then checking the principal, and they said like in Japanese, welcome to the school. Not a lot of English there. And they gave him like the signal, and he yanked the rope down.
Right.
And he was huge. On this giant handmade banner unfurled from the rafters.
Right.
And it said, welcome, Petter. I was like, well, that's not my name. I'm Peter. It was P-E-T-T-E-R.
Oh no. You travelled 500 miles in a car with a washing machine.
Just
I couldn't even get your name right.
And I don't want to be associated with petting or any of that, so I was like...
That's what got the last teacher.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I was like, thank you very much. Every day at that school started with us running around like a wheat field for exercise. And most of my lessons there were about agriculture and about teaching kids English words like tractor and things.
But dodgy banner aside, how was the school? How was the experience of being this crazy little mountain community for three months?
3 months. 3 months. I will say this: of all the experiences I've had in the past 10 years, that first 3 months was the most memorable and exceptional, good and bad, time in Japan I've ever had in my entire life. A lot of the things that I taught, I never expected. I was teaching kids how to plant. Well, they taught me how to plant rice, I should say.
That sounds like a parody of
God,
what will you be doing in Japan? Planting the rice.
Is planting rice, or
did you teach them anything of value? Did you teach them about Kansas?
But it is more about being an ambassador. A lot of your job ends up being, unless you become more experienced, is sharing American culture. And to be honest, they did not have an opportunity to meet foreigners very often.
Sure, and that's what teaching, a lot of the teaching in Japan is about. Certainly on the JET program, they're like, you're an ambassador for the UK. It's more just introducing people to the world outside Japan.
The kids themselves were very eager to learn, and when you got to understand, when you go into the classroom, you have an advantage that none of the Japanese teachers have. You're unique, you are interesting, and you
From
can.
Kansas.
Well, not me. I meant other, like you, if you want
because
to be a teacher.
most Japanese English teachers haven't even left Japan.
I don't mean that Japanese teachers are not interesting, but I mean that your classes are something unique in the school.
Sure.
So the kids look forward to your lessons. In the end of the day, I got a lot when I left, they were very kind and they wrote me little notes. And
so you were there 3 months. Presumably you enjoyed Japan, you wanted to stay. How did you stay on past those 3 months? Why didn't they keep you?
Well, Jets came in. The official cleanup.
Brought in the big guns.
Brought in the big guns.
The Jet teachers.
And I was like, oh, well, here we go. We got
so long, Petter.
Yeah, goodbye, Petter. So remember the guy I told you about the swinging light who was helping our agent?
Yeah, when you first arrived.
When I first arrived, he ended up he was kind of impressed with some of my abilities as a snake oil salesman. And he offered me a job where we would be working inside of a mall, Itoyokado, which is kind of like a big chain of malls here.
Still in Joetsu?
Still in Joetsu. And I would be fronting, and the only international teacher at this school that we're inventing from scratch. My advice is, first, don't ever do that. This was a bad idea. This was a terrible idea. Don't count on me.
Don't follow a shady man into a shopping mall.
Don't follow a shady man into a shopping mall. And I said, I'll do it as long as I don't have to make the curriculum. I don't feel comfortable.
So you've left your rural mountain life behind. You've planted the rice, and now you're off to the city.
You're off to the city of Joetsu.
Not a very good city.
Well, I liked it a lot.
It's not that good.
And the snow hit, and they warned us. The snow, like you said, is very, very heavy in there. And they said, this neighbor of mine said, you need to be careful. Every couple hours, you should open your door and clean out the snow. And I was like, no, every couple of hours, you should clean it okay. And I was like, I'm from Kansas, man. We've had ice storms. He was right. Because there was my bicycle was outside. I took a picture of it. And there was a little bit of snow on the tires. The next morning, I couldn't even open my door to get out.
You couldn't open your door?
It was snowed in. I had to go through the window, go around, and clean the front of the door. And the picture of the bike, it's up to the seat nearly. Jesus. And that was in 6 hours of snowfall.
That is terrifying.
So I had to walk to the Itoyokado every day, which was normally a 15-minute walk, but in Snowland it's 35 minutes.
This is pretty wild though. You're in Japan, you've had your 3-month experience, now you're fronting a dodgy English language. What even is this? Isn't it a school? Is it like an Ikawa, an English conversation class?
And we had a very strange system where you bought points, and you could exchange your points for lessons with me. Long story short, the guy was legitimately insane. He had several domestic issues with his wife, child. He would go on shouting tirades. And worst of all, we got a lot of money up front by promising these point systems. People would buy $1,000 worth of points.
Right.
I'll use these throughout the next year. He lost it all on pachinko. Yeah, and that was also, he did pay me, sometimes late, but that was a huge issue. Is I could not see that this was going to be a long-term.
So your boss was a man with a gambling addiction and a questionable understanding of English. Did he speak English?
Yeah, his English was pretty good. He had lived in California for a while.
Oh, okay.
And so he seemed pretty knowledgeable, but certainly he was a shady businessman, so it takes some degree of banter to convince people. But much like your channel.
Shut up. You're hard.
It was really rough. And working inside of that eikaiwa was a lot of broken promises. I told you I didn't want to make the curriculum. So luckily he had tasked his brother to write, who seemed very energetic. I want to write it.
The brother of the gambling man.
Yes, and I was like, all right, man, let's see what you got. And I was like, all right, so one of the lessons we're gonna do is you're at an airport.
Right.
And I'm gonna help you check in your bags or stuff that you may actually use using English.
Sure.
can you write me an A-B dialogue? He was like, oh, okay. And he would like type away giggling for hours, and he'd print off these sheets. It'd be like, hello, hi, I'd like to take a flight, please. Okay, where are you going? Do you have a banana? I'm hungry. And you're like, what? What does this mean right here? Is this a mistake? And he was like, keep reading. He's like, no bananas on the flight, sir. Really? Time to die, or something like he would. And I'd be like, well, what is that? You point at it, pull out a gun. He's like, it's funny. These are omoshiroi. These are interesting. And I said, no, this is wrong. Or we'd go to the grocery store, and he'd be like, how can I help you? He's like, I have a shoe on my head. And you're like, what?
Why was he writing this shit? This is a script for you to practice with people coming in.
This was supposed to be actual lessons.
Teach them real life, everyday English.
And he really, really was in on being like a comedian.
What a twat.
But so like, you know, that, I knew that this was not gonna last. And he said, okay, it's time to recontract. So I guess it actually may have been a little over a year. I think I stayed there for 12 months. Or, I can't quite.
Was there like a voice in your head like, I need to get out of here, I need to stop doing this?
Well, the big concern was when you looked at the coffers, and there was a lot of, this is a very specific situation, but me and the other coworkers there, we were like, this is really bad. We've lost all of our money. He's gambled it all. You haven't been paid in 6 months. I'm still getting paid, but none of this is working. None of this is good. So I was like, all right, I need to, that's it. So,
get out.
Yeah, so I left him behind. I decided to come to Tokyo on a bus. I heard that there was an opportunity.
How did you quit?
I told the guy, I said, look, I really appreciate what you've done for me. Please don't kill me. But I'm going to transition into something. I want to move to the big city. This has been a good experience. Man, did he get mad at me, though.
Really?
Oh, man.
Well, why wouldn't you like, what about all the money you fucked away on pachinko?
I'm not a very confrontational person. I didn't know how to handle that. And plus, the big thing was he had been really slow about renewing my visa.
Right.
And so with that running out, that was my big concern. And I was like, have you done this yet? And to do that, he had to probably show them some of the company details, which...
The company wouldn't have lasted very long. What did he say when you left this incredible organization?
I believe he had a lot of choice words that I was one of the biggest frauds in English teaching history.
You were
correct.
The fraud.
I mean, but I think there was some validity.
This is so awful.